Dr. Ellen here, the Midlife Whisperer. Welcome to Quantum Joy Alignment, where we combine science and spirituality to really help you connect with your soul and live your most joyful, vibrant life. And I'm super excited about today's show. It's my official first show. Lots happening. If you are new to my show, welcome. I am so delighted to see you here. Let me know what you think about the show. If you've got questions you'd like me to answer, comments, I cover a whole array of topics: body, mind, heart, spirit, and relationships. So I am here to support you. Today, we're going to be talking about emotions, energy in emotion. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the transits, the real big one, which is the planet Pluto is going into Aquarius. And I am going to do a little meditation chant with you to help you to align with this really dynamic energy that is hitting this Saturday. So to start, I've got a question for you. How are you feeling emotionally? Where are you at emotionally today? And I was thinking about this question a lot because I'll be truthful. I mean, if you watch me online, if you see me in my social, I'm usually dancing. I'm usually, jumping around, having a great time. But I also feel difficult emotions. And right now I am actually, yesterday, I would say Sunday, I was a little sad. My husband, Kenny, is away. He actually has to go back to the States and work because his company is not letting him work here in Costa Rica where I am. So he has been gone for a week and I'm kind of sad. And part of Quantum Joy Alignment, it's not about being up, happy all the time. It's so much about learning how to listen and work productively with your emotions, because emotions, which is what we're going to talk about today, are energy in motion. So I'll tell you a little bit about how I worked with my emotions, and then we'll talk specifically about what are emotions, what are feelings, and more importantly, how you can really work productively with your emotions to really get into quantum joy alignment, to be in a joyful place, because joy is a little different than happiness, right? Happiness is when good things happen to us in our outside world. We're happy, we get a raise, we win the lottery, something great happens, we hear from a friend, we're happy. But joy is something that is an emotional state that you can maintain all the time. So yesterday, I was just feeling sad. I really, really miss Ken. And in a way, I was kind of dipping into that emotion, realizing, gosh, I just love this human, my man, my husband, so much. And so it's so great in a way to feel that sadness, because it reminds me that behind that sadness is so much deep love and connection. So yesterday was Sunday. I was feeling kind of sad. And, when I was feeling sad, I was really kind of at a low place in terms of my emotions. So did not feel very motivated, didn't really want to do much of anything, kind of wanted to stay in the security of my house. And so I was able, though, to take my big mammalian brain and say, you know what, staying in the house, moping around, staying small and safe is not what you need right now. If you want to get out of your comfort zone, this sort of sad, low vibration, low motivation place, you got to go put some shorts on and go walk the beach. So that's exactly what I did. I hesitated a little bit. It probably took me about, 15, 20 minutes to get out of the house, locking the doors 3 times, making sure they put sunscreen on, had my keys, all my stuff, and it was such a nice walk. I ran into a ton of friends. I ran into the woman who I get massages from, Maria, and gave her a little Reiki because she had a really busy day and wanted energy. And I made some really beautiful connections, but I used understanding my emotions, the sadness that I was feeling, to say, you know what, I don't want to be in this energetic state right now. I was aware of the energy of sadness, knew behind it was because I really missed Ken, and I called him and talked to him about how much I missed him. But then I made a shift. So that's what I want to talk to you about today, is how do we make that shift? So just to tap into, what emotion are you feeling right now? So that's kind of the first step, is understanding, where am I at emotionally? And imagine if you had like a grid. And so the top kind of left corner is the left side in general are the difficult emotions when you have stress in your life. So if you have a loved one that you're missing, or maybe you're struggling with work, or you're looking at the media and feeling, maybe angry, frustrated, scared, sad, grief. These are all kind of on the left side of the grid. And what we want to do is we want to make our way over to the right side. So the top left side of the grid is kind of the emotions that are difficult emotions, but are very highly active. So for example, fear, frustration, anger, those would be examples of emotional states. And they can be, in a wide array of different tones, depending on how you are interpreting them. So, for example, anger can be, I'm a little bit frustrated at my kid because they always leave their backpack in the middle of the living room when they come home. Or it can be road rage, where I'm going to get out of my car and really deck someone. So within the emotional realm, we can have a wide array of different types of tones within the emotional realm. The bottom left is more of the grief, the sadness. It can be overwhelmed. You just feel like ducking under the covers with Ben and Jerry's and diving into Netflix. And so you want to transform, whether you're at the high level, the sort of activated high cortisol, high what's called your sympathetic nervous system, you're really activated, or parasympathetic, where you just feel like ducking covers. So the first point is to just notice, where am I at emotionally? Okay. And then we're going to do a little exercise that's going to help you jump on to the other side. So notice, be mindful. And then you can decide how I want to respond. Like yesterday, I'm feeling sad, and I decided, you know what? I want to get myself out of this emotional state. And that's when I took myself for a walk, ran into some friends, felt much better. Plus, the moving my body really helped me to shift. So notice where you're at, and then think about, where would I like to be? So if you are in maybe a place of fear or sadness or anger, frustration, overwhelm, notice. Now, if you're on the right side I haven't talked too much about, but right side, the upper right side could be things like excitement, happiness, joy. Lower could be more like peace, calm, bliss. If you're on that side, terrific, stay there. But if you're on the left side, dealing with difficult emotions, just think about, where would I like to be? And simply tune into your heart. So maybe bringing a hand to your chest, and just breathe into your beautiful heart. So the heart is really our kind of energetic center. It is much more magnetically and electronically activated than the brain. So sink into your heart, breathing into your heart. And if you're in a calm, blissful place, you can just stay there, breathing in and out of your heart, a little slower and deeper than perhaps usual, just noticing the breath. And then take a moment to think about, how would I like to feel? So perhaps bring to mind someone or something, or the state of love, compassion, kindness, joy. Maybe closing your eyes and connecting with that emotion that you'd like to experience. And perhaps it's just simply feeling calmer. So just continue to breathe in and out of your heart, breathing in calm. Breathing out any tension, breathing out any difficult emotions. Breathing in peace, breathing out stress, breathing in joy, and breathing out any heaviness you're experiencing. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And this is something that you can do any time. It is a fabulous practice. It's deceptively simple. But when you start to notice, when you become mindful of your emotions, which are energy in motion, you can name them, and you can determine that I want to reach to a higher state of being. So I want to talk a little bit more about emotions, because they're such an important part of quantum joy alignment. Emotions are really important because, again, they're energy in motion. So first of all, emotions really are your guidance system. When you're feeling happy, when you're feeling joyful, when you're feeling peaceful, it is a sign from your soul to keep moving in that direction, to do more of those things that bring you joy, that light you up. That's really a big part of what quantum joy alignment is all about, is really being in alignment with joy, with bliss, with what makes your soul happy, what makes you happy as a human. So it's a great guidance system to be moving in the direction of those positive emotions. The other piece, which is super important, is that like attracts like. And when you are in the high vibrations of joy, of peace, of course, love, you're going to attract more of that in your life. When you're in the other difficult emotions of sadness, anger, frustration, that's what's going to show up more in your life. And you ever notice there's people out there who are kind of always grumpy, always in anger, always complaining about things? They attract more of the same, whereas the people who are in more of a positive, blissful, loving place attract more of the same. So when we're talking about emotions, we're really talking about first of all, your response to what's happening in your life. Emotions are your subjective response to what is happening in your life. So it sort of starts out with how you're interpreting something. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, you are stuck in traffic. So you can go right into that, oh, I'm so angry. I can get into fear and worry that I'm going to be late for my appointment. I am so frustrated, kind of getting into that left grid. You can typically say, okay, I'm stuck in traffic. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm just going to play some music and I'm just going to relax, bringing you on the right side of the grid, more into that calm, peaceful place. So your emotions are a subjective response to something that's going on in your life. They're also a physiological response. So emotions are felt experiences in the body. So that sort of fear is kind of, you might feel your heart closing up. You might feel your heart beating faster, or maybe you're feeling some butterflies in your stomach when you're fearful, or you might feel a little choked up. When you are feeling, happy, joyful, you might be feeling energized. You might feel your aura kind of expanding. So emotions are felt experience in the body. And they're also a behavioral response. So we subjectively experience something, an emotion comes up, we feel it in our body, and we can choose how we want to respond. And I was working on this with a client last week, and she was really struggling because she was reacting. And she felt a lot like a hamster on a treadmill. Something would happen, it would be a fire, and she would just put it out and get into this reactive state. And by the end of the day, her stress level was so high that she was exhausted. And so what we worked on is kind of what we just did, is this grid of noticing when you are in what emotion you're in, and choosing a response, choosing to do that breathing into your heart and choosing to feel calm. And to maybe jump into gratitude. That's another great emotion that we can jump into. So we can change the way that we respond. We can change our behavior. We can't change the stressor and what happens to us in the outside world. We can't change the physiological response. Emotions are that very quick response. It's about a quarter of a second when your body is responding to something that's happening outside of you. It is generating the emotion. And so what happens is then comes the feeling. And feelings really are the way that we interpret it in our mind. So again, thinking about being in that traffic jam, we can start to feel an emotion that's coming up, that's welling up. And we can either say, I'm going to go into anger, frustration, overwhelm, even fear of being late, or I can go into that calm place and interpret and go, okay, I've got a time for a little break for me. So Sue says, I really resonate with your words. This is so inspiring. I can feel my energy rising just listening to you. Thank you. You're so welcome, Sue. If you have a comment, please let me know. I would love to hear from you. And if you're enjoying the show, please do like the video wherever you are watching it. It helps the algorithm send this out to other people who are interested in these types of topics. And please subscribe if you are enjoying the show. So just to wrap it up, emotions are psychological states that involve a subjective experience, a physiological response, and then a behavioral response. That behavioral response is where you get to choose, am I going to stay in fear, or am I going to go from fear to excitement? Because fear and excitement are very, very similar in terms of the physiology. Deciding how am I going to respond to this? So if someone says something to you that upsets you, Are you going to go into anger again? Or are you going to go into maybe loving yourself? Feel what you're feeling, but then you can respond in a different way. And that's really where your power is. Just like yesterday, I noticed I was feeling really sad. I didn't want to stay in that place. My motivation was low. Honestly, I just wanted to kind of stay in and eat carbohydrates, but I got my shoes on, got myself outside, and I felt a lot better. So again, listen to your emotions. That's our kind of our science and spirituality talk for the day. Again, that's going to really help you manifest like crazy, because if you can stay in these energies of light, love, wisdom, calm, you're going to help attract more of that in your life. I know it's hard these days. I know a lot of us are feeling things, whether you are experiencing difficult weather conditions and feeling like, oh my gosh, it's gray, it's cold, what do I do? You have a focal point of power. You have your own ability to modify, regulate your emotions. Maybe you're looking at the news and getting upset. I know that I glance at it every couple of days to see what's going on, and it can be very distressing. But we have a point of power, which brings me to our astrology of the week, which is incredibly important. This week, what is happening is Pluto, the outer planet Pluto, is moving from Capricorn, where it has been since 2008, into Aquarius. And it's really a big transition for a couple of reasons. We've been in Capricorn, Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008. A lot of that has been about changing the power structures of our society. As we move into Aquarius, it's changing the point of power. Pluto is the planet. It's a dark planet, the kind of underworld of transformation and power. And we are shifting power from authority to the we, to the collective, to the individual, and how we all work together to create a better society. And so this is really a point for those of us who want a better world, for those of us who are light workers. I'm here to say it's time to shine your light brighter as we are entering this age of Aquarius, and be the change that you want to see in the world. And it's a really, really powerful transit, because the way it's happening is really incredible. What happens is the sun and Pluto are having what is called a cazimi. So a cazimi is when planets, regardless, it could be Mercury, Venus, Mars, whatever the planets are, Pluto, is when a planet conjoins, so is at the exact same degree as the sun. So Pluto on Saturday, Pluto and the sun are going to cazimi. They are going to come together in this beautiful conjunction at the very end of Capricorn. So Pluto has been at the end of Capricorn, 29 degrees for quite a while. You might want to take a look, if you look at your own chart, see what house that's in. So the house will tell you what arena you are, what arena has been worked on over the last 20 years in Capricorn. If you need more assistance, just go to my website, The Midlife Whisperer, contact me there, and I would be happy to do a reading with you to help you understand where this transit is falling in your chart. So right now it's at 29 degrees, and then it is going to be moving. So it meets the sun, and then the sun is going into Aquarius on Saturday, the 20th, and then Pluto is going to move in. So it's kind of like the sun is shining a light and saying, hello, this is really, really important. Pay attention to this transit that is happening, and it's amplifying the energy of Pluto. So this is really, really important. And really what this is so much about is a change of power. So an old chapter is really ending collectively and individually in our lives, and a new chapter is opening. So it's a great opportunity to kind of turn a page on your own calendar. I love using transits, whether we are looking at the moon, which goes through all the signs every 28 days, or looking at our own solar return, our birthday, or looking at these big outer planets. When a big outer planet like Pluto changes a sign, it's a really big deal. Pluto takes 248 years 248 years to go around the sun. So the last time Pluto was in Aquarius was 1777. And we all know what was going on in 1777. And we had the American Revolution. And then after that, we had the French Revolution. And then we had the whole industrial age. And so this Pluto in Aquarius really ushered in a lot of changes. It ushered in with the industrial age. It really was about, looking at about how machines can take over for humans. And now I think we're going to see a lot more of things around artificial intelligence and robots, and how can technology serve us instead of harm humanity. So there's going to be, I think, a lot that's going on around technology. We also had a lot of social changes, the beginning of democracy. So a lot of interesting things I think are really going to happen. And what it means for each of us is to truly think about the collective, thinking about the world that we want to create, that we want to leave for our kids and our grandkids. Working with midlife women, I'm always telling midlife women, you are so important to influence 4 generations, your grandkids, your kids, your peers, your parents. We are very wise, and our wisdom as elders in our society right now is really, really needed. So thinking about, gosh, how would I love to show up in this next chapter in the next 20 years, all the way to 2043? Where would I like to be? What would I like to do in my life? How can I help the collective? And this Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius, is also so much about being your true self, which is so much of what quantum joy alignment is about. Your true self is what your soul incarnated to be. And so, so often we are out of alignment with that true self. We keep trying to change things in our outer world. And then we wonder, why am I not happy when I attain that goal? Nothing wrong with getting goals, whatever those are, whether that is personally, professionally, you want to get in better shape, you want to change careers, you want to meet an amazing partner, you want to travel. Those are all great. But what needs to happen with quantum joy alignment is we need to be coming at this from what is that connection with our soul. That's about listening to our hearts, paying attention to what our heart is saying. If you have any spiritual guides, or if you're in prayer and you talk to God, that's really where we can connect with our higher self. We can connect with our soul and really understand what is truly best for us, how to be our true selves and come into quantum joy alignment. So I think this Pluto happening, going into Aquarius, is really going to help all of us to find a new point of power, not doing things for power's sake, but doing things because we want to have more love in the world. We want to have more peace in the world. And I know it's hard to look at the mess that's happening. And I think a lot of that is a lot of the old structures are being ripped to shreds. So something new, this phoenix rising, can start to happen. But each of us can be part of that. We can make a difference in the world, whether that is, smiling at someone, giving to charity, volunteering, doing whatever we do vocationally to make a difference in the world. And certainly being in prayer, working on ourselves. And I'm going to do a quick meditation chant at the end of today's show to help us all come into greater alignment with our true selves individually and collectively. So Aquarius really wants things to do things in a new way, to be innovative. My man is a double Aquarius, so I'm looking forward to getting more inspiration from him. It's really a time to innovate and create the world that we want to see for our kids and for our grandkids. So let me pull a few cards. If you would like a card, please put it in the chat. I'm watching the chat on right now. So if you're interested in a card, I'm not sure if it's just coming up in YouTube. I will pull one for you, but let's see what we need to know about what is happening. We're also ending the Mercury retrograde is going to be coming out of shadow. Mercury was retrograde for 3 weeks and it's been going forward, but it's going back through where it retrograded. So it just entered Capricorn as well. So you might be kind of revisiting things that you were looking at the beginning of December and the middle of December. Also, it's kind of fun to look back at 2008 and see, gosh, where was I in 2008 when Pluto first entered Capricorn? Where was my life at? Because we're just about to jump out of that. So we have a quick sip of water. All right. And again, if you want to reach out to me, if you have questions, comments, things you want me to cover, just go to themidlifewhisperer.com. That's themidlifewhisperer.com, or just pop something in the chat box and I would be happy to connect with you. All right. What do we need to know this week? All right. So first card is the 5 of Wands upside down. So I think this is such an appropriate card because the Five of Wands is this card of like jousting, fighting, being into like having power, having the upper hand. I think it's upside down because I think, gosh, are we so like done with fighting, with just fighting with ourselves, fighting with other people, trying to hold on to our power instead of being generous with our gifts and our energy? So I feel like this card is really saying, putting an end to power for power's sake and really sinking into a new energy moving forward. We've got the Lover's card. Always such a great card to connect in a deeper way with yourself. All love starts with self-love, acknowledging the divinity within, acknowledging the connection that you have with the people in your life. So really focusing on, where is love in my life? Where am I, how can I love myself more? How can I see the divine in everyone and everything? Again, including me. And I think when I work with people, it's so amazing how much we struggle with loving ourselves. It's so much easier to love other people than ourselves. And what I always say to people is, treat yourself the way you would a good friend. So when I have a client, I always say, ask them, who is their best friend? And I say, okay, what would you say to her? What would you say to your best friend if they were going through the same thing that you are going through? So I think this card is really saying, as we're going in, let's elevate, let's raise up love for ourselves and for all of humanity. And then finally, we've got the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is really the card of nostalgia. So I think it's really productive to kind of maybe do a little bit of a life review of thinking about, where have I been? What have I learned with this, transit of Pluto in Capricorn? When I think about 20 years, I was in my 40s, my kids were growing up. Where are those relationships? So thinking about the love in your life, of how things have grown, how things are transformed. And also it's really nice too to, connect with your inner child. That's another great way to come to quantum joy alignment, is to spend some time. And I was talking with my guides yesterday, and my 5-year-old self showed up because I'm kind of rediscovering this relationship that I have with guides. Part of my story is just shutting all of that. I was very into the science and really shut down a lot of my own spiritual knowing and being. And my 5-year-old self was kind of holding one hand of the guide and I was holding the other one. And we were kind of walking through the garden. So there's been a lot for me of really reconnect with your childhood self. That's such a beautiful way to have more joy in your life. I think we get old because we stop playing. I think George Bernard Shaw said we don't stop playing because we get old. We get old because we stop playing. So you are never too old to play. So if you've got kids, grandkids, go out and play. Or like me, I just go on the beach and I just watch the kids playing in the surf, and it really helps me to come alive. All right, so let's do a meditation. So we're gonna do a little chanting. I did my first show last week. It wasn't the official show. It was kind of an initial launch. And before the show, I was privileged to go on a 7-day chanting retreat at Blue Spirit with the likes of Deva Pamal and Mitan and Jay Utal was there. Krishna Das was supposed to be there, but he had COVID. But we chanted for 6 hours a day for an entire week. And it was incredibly powerful. And the thing about chanting is that a couple of things. First, it turns off the thinking brain, helps you to really connect with your heart, with your third eye. It's resonance. So, we are 80% water. So when you're chanting, you're actually vibrationally changing the energy of your very being, your cells. You are an energetic being. And when we chant, we change our energy. We shift our vibration. It's a great thing to do if you're finding, again, that you're in that left side, whether you are fear and anger, overwhelm, sadness, grief. Chanting is a really powerful way to shift your vibration. It's a great way to manifest what you want in your life. There's probably thousands of chants out there to receive or change in whatever way that you want to change. But I found it really healing. The vibration was really powerful. It also turns off that thinking mind. My mind is always, I've got Mercury in Capricorn, so my mind is always like directing, thinking about the next thing. And so chanting really helps me to quiet my mind. So we're going to do an easy chant called Ong So Hung. Ung means creative consciousness, and So Hung means I am that. So it's kind of helps us to connect with all that is, with this new beautiful energy of Aquarius that's coming in. I should note that I think I wrote the dates down, but we are going to be dipping. We dipped into Aquarius March 23rd, 2023, and then we are going to be going back into Capricorn briefly, September 2nd through November 18th, and then we'll be in Aquarius for good. Pluto will be in Aquarius for good for 2043. So we're going to chant a little bit, then I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, and I'm going to give you a couple of prompts, which hopefully will help you to digest some of what I have shared today. So go ahead and close your eyes. And just maybe bring your hand to your heart, just as a way to connect with yourself. Taking a couple of breaths. Just coming to this present moment and just inviting yourself to share in this vibration of Om So Hung. And I'm just going to chant it. You can chant after me. So it goes, Om So Hung, Om So Hung. Then you can chant, Om So Hung, 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 So Hung, Om So Hung, So Hung. Try it again. Om So Hung, 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 So Hung, Om So Hung, So Hung. One more time. Om So Hung, Om So Hung. And now you. Om So Hung, 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 So Hung. And now really vibrating with the energy of your third eye. I'm going to sing it one more time. Opening up that third eye so you can really see what's next for you in this age of Aquarius we're entering. Om So Hung, 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 So Hung, Om So Hung, So Hung. So just taking a couple of inhalations, staying with this energetic vibration, taking a moment to put your whole attention on your third eye, being the witness of your life, noticing what you want your life to look like from that observer perspective, feeling all your emotions, energy and emotion moving through your body. And just thinking about a couple of quick prompts. Do you feel free to live the life you want? Just notice what comes up. Do you feel free to be your true self? Take off those masks and be yourself. Do you feel held back? Do you feel your life is aligned with joy? Are you in quantum joy alignment? Are you feeling alive? Do you feel that aliveness in your life? And if you didn't answer hell yeah to these, maybe do a little bit of journaling. I will put those prompts in the comments box for you so that maybe you can do a little journaling around this transition. We just had the new moon last week, so you still have time to plant those seeds of intention. Maybe your intention is to feel more alive, to feel more in quantum joy alignment, to be moving in the direction of your soul, to be connected with your emotions and experience more of the uplifting, positive emotions of gratitude, of joy, of peace, of bliss and calm. So you attract more of that in your life. So thank you so much for being here again. If you have enjoyed the show, please subscribe to my channel, like the show. It helps other people find this type of programming. If you've got questions, let me know. And feel free to reach out to me at themidlifewhisperer.com. That's themidlifewhisperer.com. And I want to also tell you to follow the Enlightened World Network. Thank you so much, Enlightened World Network, for giving me this beautiful platform. And we will catch you next week. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be at ease.